All right. Welcome live, everybody. On this great night, we're going to preview the Indiana game. Maybe if we get time, we could go back and talk a little bit about the Rutgers game since we had some poor video out there. And I saw that, Kelvin, you shared it even though it was pretty awful video. But
I didn't think it was that bad, Dean. You
okay,
know,
good.
yeah.
I'm glad we have a positive opinion on that.
I just felt sorry for you because you were having so much trouble with your
Yeah.
internet. You know.
Yeah, so far so good. Knock on wood, everybody. Like I
Yeah.
said, I'm in a different location today. It seems to be helping. Alrighty, so we are going to talk about the game coming up, Indiana. I know that people are probably turning their narrative on this. I think most people thought this was a game that Iowa was going to win easily, but after we watched what they did to Illinois, now we're all second guessing whether or not Iowa can beat this team. Correct? Okay. So there we are. We're 2 minutes into the show, so let me ask you guys to subscribe. I think we're up to 560 something. I don't know where we're at for sure. Subscribe, like the content on here. Make sure you like it because that helps the algorithm. Also to leave some comments on it. I mean, on the replay. Leave the comments live and then leave some on the replay. And we'll get back to you on that. And by all means, let's share this. Let's share it to everyone you can. Every Hawkeye fan, every Iowa State fan, Gopher fan, Husker fan, all of them get a kick out of it. And especially the Hoosier fans because they're our next game and they're looking down on us, thinking that we don't have a chance in this game. So maybe we can show the Hoosiers that we're for real too. Okay? All righty. Calvin, you want to get us started with any news you might have for the week?
Yeah. We just have a few news items. One was Brad Heinrichs sent out communications on 3 that the swarm is changing, and the swarm now is more still working the same way. If you donate soon, it'll still be tax deductible.
Uh-oh.
I don't know if it's the first of the year that they lose their tax deductible charity deal, but that don't matter to me. But the swarm is now their role per the athletic department to him is to raise extra money they need, especially for individual players like this Wolitsko girl or somebody that costs a lot of money and they need emergency funds, you know. And he also threw out there that he hasn't heard from Jan whether the Wolitsko girl, how much money, if any, extra it would take. But when they do, he'll put out and the new thing about donating, you can donate any amount, $10, $25, $1 million. And you can now say, hey, I want it to go to her. Or I want it to only go to, soccer. Or whatever you want now. There's no limits on what you want to do with it.
Okay.
The second part of the news, of course, is UCLA and Oklahoma State fired their football coaches. Maybe somebody else did too. And the way that's affecting Iowa is Tyler Barnes and the football recruiting coaches and so on are following these players who are now free agents. And of course, they're also following kids that are committed to other schools and trying to flip them, of course.
Yeah. No, let's talk about that real quick. Because these guys are allowed to jump in the portal right away. So does that mean we can get them out of the portal and sign them right away, but they can't play until next fall?
They can enter the portal. I don't even know if they have to enter. I think they're just automatically eligible to go elsewhere. But I think they have to tell their coaches they're playing for now, whether they're going to play more than 4 games this year. Because if you play more than 4 games, you lose the season of eligibility. But
I heard that on the leave-in
I
is
think it's good.
already in the portal.
Some people were complaining that Iowa has like 24 or 5 scholarships and we only had 13 commitments so far. But I think that's working out good that we have these scholarships that aren't filled yet, and we can go get some really good players, because we have room for them.
I believe Kirk also said that that they could save some of that money when they only recruited 13 people, so they could get so they could use some of that money to get some transfer portal people in to fill some holes.
As Kirk and Tyler Barnes both said, the reason we didn't get more than 13 people that early in June was because these kids were demanding money to commit. And Kirk said, no, we're not doing that. And Tyler says, no, we're not doing that.
Okay.
If you come and play at Iowa, you will get your share of NIL. But we're not giving you money just to commit.
All right. And related comments to these, let's go ahead and read these comments before we get started. Kyle Reimer says that there needs to be contracts in the NCAA like they do in major college sports. I mean, major pro sports. I don't disagree with that. Vandy Chris
that's the rule now, Dean. That's why they have a clearinghouse.
Yeah. So Vandy Chris says the Swarm is moving to an open doors style of NIL operations with the question mark. I'm not sure what an open doors is, but I'm sure that's what they're moving to. Mike says that 3 Power 5 coaching's gone before October. What a crazy time. That is, that the fact that they were fired so early is crazy. Here we got some more.
How long's Fickle lasting, Dean?
What's that?
How long's Fickle lasting? Will he be out in a couple of weeks? Or?
We'll see. We'll see how he lasts. I don't think he's going anywhere. He only lost to. Wait a minute, that's the wrong one. That's rule. That's that. Never mind. I'm getting confused. I think there should be a contract with the transfer portal athlete. Vandy says they have 30 days to enter the portal. If they do not file work, they won't be in the portal. They would be eligible to participate in the spring. Okay. And then Kyle says NCAA is a business. They want the money. Okay. All righty. So we're there. All righty. Let's move on to Indiana.
Wait, I got one more news thing.
Okay, go ahead.
And this is really big. The number 1 player in the state of Iowa in the 2027 class was Luke Brewer, who's a tight end, and he's from Norwalk, Iowa. If you watch his tape, and I've watched tapes and VHS tapes back in the old days, and films back in the early 80s when I started, and Luke Brewer is the very best tight end recruit I've ever seen out of the state of Iowa. Okay. He's big, and he is extremely fast, extremely quick, and catches the ball like a wide receiver. I think he's like 6'5", 235. I don't know.
So he hasn't committed to Iowa yet, right?
Well, this is the news. No, he hasn't. He hasn't committed to Iowa. But he has decided he's reclassifying like basketball players do. So he's now going to commit this year.
Okay.
And he came for, I think he came to the last home game for Iowa. And he's coming back this week.
All right.
And he's planning on committing in a month or two, and he's offered by every school in the country. Miami of Florida, Alabama, Georgia wants him bad.
So that's how good he is. He's a junior, and he would be a 27 recruit, but we're going to get him as a 26 recruit, is what you're saying.
He's a senior now. He was a junior, but he reclassified and did his academic updating. So he's like that Trey Thompson from Tennessee that we got in basketball. Yeah. And So he's the
Okay.
same age. He's the same age as Cooper DeJean's brother, but he's a way better prospect. They're both tight ends.
Okay.
Yeah,
All righty. Mike says
that's it.
Barry Alvarez just called fans spoiled. I don't think Wisconsin is ready to move on yet. So there you go. Maybe Fickle will get fired if Barry Alvarez has any say in it, and I'm sure he does. Okay. All righty. Okay, so let's get started with okay, you guys all saw what Indiana did to a top 10 Illinois team. The question of the day is Illinois that bad? And are the Hoosiers that good? Or are they both somewhere in the middle? Because, I mean, to rush 300 yards on Illinois' defense is just like mind boggling to me. And they still got like 270 some yards passing. Mendoza did. I'm calling Mendoza for the Heisman right now, and I think as you pointed out, I saw it right before I went on the air here. Indiana is the number 2 offensive team in the country right now, just
And
ahead
they're
of
the number,
just
and
ahead
they're
of
the number,
USC.
and they're the number 3 defensive team.
Oh yeah, wow.
And I wouldn't have paid a lot of attention to that before the before the Illinois game, because their schedule wasn't playing a bunch of power schools. But after watching them play Illinois, I'd say those numbers are legit.
Yeah, I mean, it took them a while to come out of the gate. They were only scoring 35 points for the first game. I mean, geez, you know,
Did you
I'm
watch
just,
Kirk's news conference?
I did.
Yeah. He also said he's voting. If he had to vote today, he'd vote for Mendoza for the Heisman. But
I did hear that. Yeah, I
yeah,
was able to get a quick listen in. It was kind of
cool.
weird listening to it at 1:45 when I'm used to listening to it at 11:45 my time. And in case you guys didn't know, I live in California, but I'm currently in the state of Iowa.
Mhm.
Going home on Thursday, hopefully. Hopefully we make it home without any issues. Okay, let me pull this stuff up real quick. We're going to talk about okay, these guys. These guys are crazy good. Okay. All right. So Indiana is the number 2 offense. USC is the number 3 offense. Let's see. I don't see anybody else in the Big 12 in the top 10. So, I mean, in the Big 10, in the top 10. So crazy as crazy does. All righty. Okay. Mendoza's thrown for 975 yards so far this year. I don't know where that ranks with the other quarterbacks. Do you have any idea? Some of the other quarterbacks have
I
got for
don't
yards.
know. I all I know is Mendoza was, you know, how many yards could he have thrown against Illinois if they wouldn't have benched him? You know, they
Well, they
played
got
four
brother.
quarterback. They played four quarter.
There's
Indiana played 4 quarterbacks, and their number 1 rusher in the Illinois game was their 4th-string quarterback, running back. It wasn't like, and the last 19 plays they ran were like running plays. It wasn't like they were running the score.
that explains why.
Mm-hmm.
So Mendoza's brother was 9 for 12 for 139 yards with a
Yeah.
completion percentage of 75%, and so yeah, those guys can fly the ball. Let's see. Vandy has a question. Oh, Marty, let's go Marty first. Marty Polka. Okay. Somewhere in the middle, but not have played the road, hopefully. They have a few turnovers. We can keep it a game, Moose says. 31-27. I assume he means the Hawkeyes. Because Moose is a big fan. Okay. Mendoza's has 10 touchdowns in the last 2 games and didn't play the fourth quarter in either game. I know his brother did and just showed us that when Mendoza goes off to the NFL this year, his brother's going to pick up right where he left off. Their leading rusher is a guy by the name of Black. He has 306 yards on the season so far. He averages 7 yards a carry. His longest one is 40 yards, and he's had 2 touchdowns. The next guy on the rushing list is Hemby. 50 carries for 265 yards, 6.3, and 30 yards was the longest. Now they got some balance at the running back. I mean, they got 5 running backs all within 100 yards of each other, or 4. I'm sorry, it's 4.
Is Black the one that was hurt?
Is he hurt?
Their number 1 back didn't even play against Illinois. So
Okay.
Hemby start. Hemby was at Maryland the last few years, and they paid him a lot of money to come to Indiana to be the backup.
Well, that's cool. That's cool.
They got money.
Yeah, they do. Okay, so then Hemby had 265 yards total, and Martin has 25 carries for 222 yards at 8.9 yards per carry. So he's actually probably their better back because he's getting more yards. And then let's see who the other running back is. There's one more on this list. Where's he at? Oh, yeah. Come on, stop it, guys. 209 yards for BB Jr. 27 carries, 7.7 yards carry. These guys are kicking butt on carries. No wonder they're scoring 300 yards. I mean, rushing for 300 yards. I mean, these guys are crazy numbers.
They got crazy numbers every place, Dean. I mean, their team is so efficient and so wonderful this year looking. So
yeah. Sometimes it makes me wonder why we can't look like this. All righty. Let me see. Okay, a lot of. All right, receiving. Their number 1 wide receiver is a guy by the name of Cooper Jr. He has 370 yards and 19 catches. Sayrat, 24 catches for 258 yards. Williams for 13 catches for 116 yards. So,
Surratt is a beast. Surratt is a beast.
I bet.
He may not be their leading receiver, and Cooper's really good too. So
okay. All right. Okay. Vandy says, as an alumnus of Indiana, Mark Cuban didn't even go to the game against a top 10 team. He was in Nashville with his daughter at the Vandy game, which, he's pumping money into that school too, isn't he, Vandy? He's got some money to burn on both schools.
And Indiana has 3 billionaires. So
who's the other ones?
I don't know their names. But
guys, excuse me for coughing. I went to a party over the weekend, and a lot of people at that party got a COVID, and some of the rest of us got just colds. So it is okay. A guy by the name of Moore, he's a defensive back. He has 23 tackles. Fisher, a linebacker, has 17 tackles. Wyatt has 17 tackles. He's on the D line, and Jones is a linebacker. He has 16 tackles, and I'll stop with Boykin, who's a DB, with 12 tackles.
The Fisher guy is an All-American. Their defensive end, who has a funny name, Kamara or whatever, he's an All-American from last year. Their nose guard is like an All Big Ten type player, and then they got a cornerback who was All-American last year.
Oh, okay.
They got good defense. Their safeties are probably the weakest part, and they're probably about even with ours. But
all righty. Okay. Mike says the Ursays are for one of the people. Okay. All righty. So I'm just going to go over and we're going to talk about Iowa's offense and comparative notice. Okay. Iowa has 1,353 yards of total offense. Their opponents have 934. Boy, that probably will flip on Saturday. Okay. Total plays 259, 223 for opponents. Average yards per play 5.2 for Iowa, 4.2 for our opponents. Average per game 338.3, and we're giving up 233.5. We have 18 touchdowns, no 16. 16 touchdowns, and we've only given up 7 touchdowns this year, so not too bad. Let me go back to this. Alrighty. For rushing, we have 802 yards total. We've only given up 243 yards rushing in 3 games. Not too bad, not too shabby. We're holding the opponents to less than 100 a game, or at right around 100 a game. I'm sorry. Yards gained 862 versus 329. Yards lost 60 versus whatever. I lost it. Yeah. So okay. Passing, we're at 551 yards, and we're giving up 691 yards of passing. So that's the first stat that didn't go our way. I was 55 for 89 and 1 interception. Our opponents are 68 for 115 and 1 interception. Average per game, we're at 6.19. They're at 6.0. Average per game on passing is 137.8. We're letting people pass for us for over 172.8. So the passing is not been. That's where we're giving up, guys. We're giving up. And so Mike has another comment right here. He says, "As much flack as Kirk gets for the 3 yards in a cloud of dust, this is a game you need to keep. You need to make methodically slow. Keep Mendoza and company off on the sidelines." I don't disagree with that comment at all. That's probably the one key to the game right there. If we can keep our running backs running and just burn that clock, perfect, because then they can't score 60 points if we don't let them on the field. All right, 10 touchdowns compared to 5 touchdowns. That's only in rushing. We have 4 touchdowns passing. Excuse me, guys. Okay. We've had 80 first downs. We've given up 51 first downs, rushing 45 by rushing. 7 penalties compared to 4 penalties on the other side. Field goals, we're 7 for 9 on field goals. I'm not sure where the 3 for 5 comes in. Didn't copy that part. Our average punt this year is 43 yards, and we're giving up 46 yards on average punt. Are you surprised that Reese Dakin is punting so low when he was like 48 or 49 last year?
Yes, I am. I think he averaged like 45 or 6 last year, but I really thought he'd average about 50 this year, the way he was booming them.
Yeah, me too. Okay. I was only giving up 1 interception this year.
That was when our wide receiver fell down. So.
Yep.
Of course, our only interception is because Llewellyn hit the quarterback and tipped the ball, and it went up in the air. So
yeah. So right now, Gronowski in 4 games played has a 121.3 efficiency rating. He's 49 of 81 with 1 interception for 492 yards, 3 touchdowns passing the ball.
Yeah, he's over 60% after that slow start. He's still over 60% completion percentage.
Yeah.
I think we're kind of happy the way he's progressed, aren't we, Dean?
Yes, we are. Okay. And I saw somebody today putting him down, and I'm saying, dude, you do not know what you're talking about.
Yeah. All I know is he's going to lead the team in rushing touchdowns and passing touchdowns.
Okay. Hank Brown has played in 2 games with a 178.2 efficiency rating. He's completed 6 out of 8 passes for 59 yards and 1 TD.
Yeah.
Okay. So rushing, Jazz Patterson, who's not playing this week because he is injured, is our leading ground gainer, which is kind of sad when you look at the other ground gainers of the top 4 on the other team. Every one of them is well over 200 to 300, and our top gainer is only 199, and Xavier Williams is 187, and Gronowski, believe it or not, is our 3rd leading rusher with 186. Who saw that one coming?
Yeah. We're down to, Brevin Dow. Kirk said today that Brevin Dow is going to be able to play this week, but he's like the 4th guy, and he was out for. Kirk said he was injured for 2 weeks. He might not really be ready to come back, but he's going to be back because we need. That only gives us 4 running backs.
Why not? We went from having that be the deepest position on the team to now we're struggling if anybody else gets hurt. All
Yep.
right. Mike says after what we've gone through post Big Ten or post Big Nate, nobody better be complaining about Gronowski. I also agree with that comment.
And didn't we see where his quarterback rating last game was the highest in like forever for an Iowa quarterback?
Yes, yes. And
By
was he?
PFF,
Yeah.
88 point something
Well, I
or
hate to
90
say
or
this,
something.
but was he number one in the Big Ten too this week? I mean, despite
I
people
wouldn't
like
think
Mendoza.
I wouldn't think so. With Mendoza was like 20 out of 22 or something, and I wouldn't have thought Gronowski would have been that good, but I don't know. I don't
All
know.
righty. Okay, so our wide receivers. Phillips has caught 5 for 115 yards, 23 average. Jacob Gill has 8 catches for 91 yards, 11 average. Dayton Howard has 3 catches for 53 yards, 17.7 average. Zach Ortworth, there we come to one tight end. We had to go down to the 5th person on the list to find a tight end. He's got 4 catches for 48 yards. Seth Anderson has 6 catches for 40 yards. And DJ Voname has 3 catches for 35 yards.
There's a guy there was a guy that was 4th or 5th string coming into the season. Now he's playing about half the snaps. So
He is, and he's learning how to block on the fly.
Mhm.
All right, Nathan McNeil has 1 catch for 32 yards. Weechin has 4 catches for 26. Williams has 4 catches for 24. Kamari Moulton has 3 catches for 21 yards. So we're Hayden Large 19, and Washington Jr. has 18 carries. 18 catches. Looks like we're spreading the wealth around.
18 yards probably.
Yeah, 18 yards. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
He has
I think our number 1 receiver might only have like 7 catches or something.
I can go back and verify that if you want me to.
Well, you don't have to, but
He has 9 catches. I'm sorry, 5 catches. Only 5.
Yeah.
Okay. That's where we're at right now. All righty. Moving on to defense. Jaden Harrell is our leading tackler at 28. He's got 1 tackle for a 6-yard loss. And Carson Scherer has 28 tackles as well. And he has he averages 2.5 total losses for 6 yards. Okay. Zach Lutmar has 21 tackles. Xavier Wampa has 18. Cone Entringer has 16. DJ Hall has 15. Deshaun Lee has 13. Aaron Graves has 13. I'm just going to stop it there because there's a whole mess of people down there with tackles. Okay. All righty. I kind of got the stats out there that I wanted to. Kelvin, what would you like to contribute on this? Anything about Indiana that stands out to you that you want to talk about, like matchups or like their O-line against our D-line and our O-line against their D-line?
Yeah, I think everything about Indiana, like I said, their safeties have probably been the least impressive, but they're still good. Everything Indiana's doing that I've seen, I've read, Indiana just looks good every place. I'd say the only position group that we're better than them is offensive line, and we got the best offensive line in the country. Period. End of sentence.
Well, I think the PFF ratings bear that out, and so that's why I think
our total offensive line ratings for PFF are 11 points higher than any other offensive line.
Yeah, I knew it wasn't close.
No, and
this is why.
And our left tackle, the new guy, He's the number 1 rated left tackle by PFF in the country. The
Wow,
left
that's
guard
impressive.
Bo Stevens, the number 1 left guard in the country. Our center, Logan Jones, is now the number 1 center in the country. Keeper is the number 1 right guard. Only our right tackle, Dunker, who might be our best offensive lineman, he's rated as number 2 in the country by PFF.
Okay.
You know,
So,
and by the way, CBS today put out a mock draft, and Cade Pieper was picked 26th in the draft.
okay.
Which he ain't going to go to the draft. He's going to come back and play center next year. But
yeah,
anyway,
Iowa will pay him dearly to come back.
But Indiana is so good at all the positions. You know, it's kind of scary.
Yeah,
but we'll show
Mike says a veteran offensive line is perhaps the most important thing to have in college. I absolutely agree, because if we can use this offensive line, if they're as good as advertised, then maybe we can get the running game going and not give the ball up to Mendoza, because the fewer times he has that ball in his hand is the only time we're going to be able to win this game. Is we got to keep the ball grinding. We have to grind time. We have to grind yards and score each time. You know, can't come away empty-handed.
Mm-hmm. It's an uphill battle, but we're not giving up. You know, we got to win on both lines of scrimmage. That's the only way I see us winning. You know,
right?
And turnovers maybe, but
yeah. Well, we're not doing a very good job of takeaways this year, so I think we have one takeaway all season so far.
Yeah, never know when the worm's going to turn.
Yeah,
you know. Okay. So, another great thing about us, I think we're number 1 or 2 in the least penalized team, which, like Signetti said yesterday about Kirk, Iowa's team is coached not to make mistakes.
Okay,
You got to beat them. You know,
this is Signetti doing his little public thing in order to not make waves. But what about his coaches who were interviewed and are making waves? I want to still hear what they had to say.
His coaches?
Yes.
I haven't heard that, but Signetti.
That's what I asked earlier when you said something about the assistant coaches, and I said I want to hear about that.
I didn't hear anything about any assistant coaches talking.
Okay, but
yeah, I just watched his press conference, and he just said, "I have the utmost respect for Kirk Ferentz, and he's won 8 games or more for 10 years in a row." He said, I started out at Pitt, he started out at Pitt, and he would come back and visit. He left Pitt in 80 and 81, and I came in 84, but he came back to visit. And he said, he didn't talk any trash. He didn't talk any trash about Kirk Ferentz or Iowa. Usually he talks trash. And
who talks trash?
Signetti.
Okay.
He's the type of guy says we'll show up in Iowa City and kick their ass. He didn't say that. He just said how much he respects. And he's heard that Iowa City's the toughest place to play in the Big Ten. And he said beating Iowa's going to be way harder than beating Illinois.
Yeah, but he was almost showing no respect to Illinois when he did that. Like Illinois is too easy.
Well, he's just saying that Iowa's a better team, That was the worst. Illinois was the worst tackling team I'd seen in a long time.
Yeah, but that's not Illinois. Illinois had an anomaly this week, and I don't think they were ready.
Well, I don't
think Belima had those boys ready to this week.
Yeah, you are what you are. You are what you show up. So, and Brett Bielema said he's never experienced anything like that in his life.
You mean a good old-fashioned ass kicking? Kirk has had a few of those. Kirk has had his ass kicked.
Because Brett knows he has a good team. I mean, this is the same Illinois team, almost player for player, that beat South Carolina in a bowl game.
Yeah.
You know, and what they win 10 or 11 games last year?
Yeah, but
10
South
games.
Carolina's lost 2 games this year, so South Carolina is proven not to be that great either.
Yeah. Well, some people sometimes, like last year, like Phil said, the problem with our defense last year is our players thought they were great. You know, if a team comes into the game and thinks they're better and they're better than the other team and thinks they're great, that's dangerous because you don't work as hard. You know,
Yeah.
you just show up and say, "Oh, we're going to win. We're going to play great. I'm great." You know,
It's a dangerous mindset, buddy. It's a dangerous mindset.
it's rap bait, as Bobby Stoop says.
Okay. All right.
And Kirk talked about how Signetti's father was very famous Kirk and Signetti both were from Western Pennsylvania. Kirk says I'm a lot older than Signetti, but he's only 6 years older than Signetti's 64 years old this year.
I know you made a point to show that they hired an old guy and not a young guy.
Yeah,
You said
it's like they made a great hire. But Kirk pointed out that Signetti's dad was famous, one of the greatest high school coaches in Pennsylvania, and then he went on, I think, to Indiana University in PA, IUPA or something.
Yeah.
And Kirk has great respect for Signetti. It was like a mutual respect thing today. So anyway.
So yeah, this is gonna be a quick show tonight, I think. We got out what we wanted to get out of it, and now everybody can go watch the Fever play after Minnesota wins their game tonight. So I think this is a good place to end it. You got anything you want to talk about? We could talk about our picks.
Yeah, we didn't do our picks.
Yeah. I have Paul's picks somewhere. Let's talk about our picks.
Yeah. I thought maybe Jason would join us about this time, but he hasn't. So
he has not.
He said about 7:30. It's not much past 7:30.
Yeah. And he really wanted to be a part of this show tonight. Hey, I lost some viewerships. Oh my gosh, that's not good.
Don't worry about that, Dean.
Alrighty. So hang on for a second. Something's going on here.
So we all had the same score in our picks last week. Did you say that?
Yes. We all
7-4.
All of us had I think we had like an 8-4 record because we had 11 games this last week. And so, or maybe it was 7-4. I think it was 7-4 because we had 11 games.
I think you told me 7-4. So.
Yeah. Okay. Hang on for a second. I just got to figure out what's going on here.
Yeah.
All right. I think I got it now. Let's go back to our scores. Our things. Thanks for hanging in there, guys. Here's Paul. Okay. The USC Illinois game. He picks Illinois. I actually took I also took Illinois in this game. I think. Why did I do that? Wait a minute. No, I took USC. Let me go back and find that.
I thought you took Illinois.
Well, wait a minute. I'm going to go back and look just to make sure.
Because me and you only had a couple different ones, and I thought you picked Illinois, but maybe you picked USC.
I may have.
You sent me a picture where you had your picks circled.
Yeah, I'm going back to find them right now.
Yeah.
If you wouldn't be sending me all kinds of stuff, I could find it easier. Okay.
Just trying to help you.
Yeah, I picked USC. And you got who in this game?
I got USC because it really knocked me over. And I told you before the show started, the USC defensive line it's the best defensive line they've had in a long time. They play like 7 or 8 guys, and they got Dave Wannstedt, old defensive line coach that coached Aaron Donald this year.
Yeah.
And they went into the portal, and they got big. good defensive linemen. So that's why I
Okay.
picked USC.
All right. I'm taking Rutgers over Minnesota. Who'd you pick?
I took Rutgers.
Okay. I took UCLA over Northwestern because I think UCLA is gonna have an emotional charge this week with losing their coach and
Yeah.
getting a
Did
big
you
thing.
have
I think they go on a roll here.
did you have Paul's picks?
Yeah, Paul picked Northwestern because I forced him to make a pick. He wasn't going to pick it.
Yeah, me and Paul almost staged a protest, but I took Northwestern.
Okay. Ohio State over Washington. I took Ohio State.
I took Washington.
Because they're at home.
Yeah, and
What do you think?
I love their quarterback reminds me of Brad Banks. And
Okay.
Ohio State's traveling, and I don't think Ohio State's invincible.
Yeah.
So
I took LSU over Ole Miss, and you did. I'll go back and read Paul's later here because he's on a different.
I took LSU also, didn't I?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't have yours right here.
I think so.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to trust you on this one. All right.
Yeah.
Arizona at Iowa State. That was an easy one. Iowa State runs away with that one.
Well, I said ISU by a billion, but
Did you?
I'll probably be wrong. I'll probably be wrong because I'm not very good at picking these games. So.
Yeah. Oregon at Penn State. This one I picked the home team, Penn State, because I think this is a home game for them, and the Fighting Franklins will finally get a big one under their belt.
I was so tempted to not take Penn State, but I ended up taking Penn State. I think they'll win a tight one.
Yeah. All right, Bama at Georgia. I took Georgia. Bama ain't what they used to be. They still win a lot of games, but they're no longer national title contenders right now.
Yeah, I am. I took Georgia also. I think Georgia's defense will beat Alabama's offense.
Yeah. Hey, Coach Hack, we sent you an invite. You can come on the show if you want to live.
I hope he
I do
does.
not know what time is the OSU Washington game. Do you know?
OSU in Washington?
Yeah, he wants to know.
I have no clue.
Okay. If somebody out there watching knows, could you look it up and tell us?
I
Ringer
just
said
was,
I'm going to the Iowa, Oregon, and Oregon are my college team. So, Kyle, he likes both teams, so he can't win. I mean, he can't lose on that day.
I wish the Iowa game was on a network that I had.
Oh, I tell you, it's only a couple of bucks. You subscribe to it on their first game that they got, and then you get rid of it the last game that they do on there, and you won't spend more than probably $10 total.
Well, I don't care about that, but I don't have a smart TV, and I don't want to watch it on a little screen on my phone.
Oh, okay.
To me, that ain't any better than listening to it on the radio.
Okay. Now, who did you take in the Bama game?
I took Georgia.
Okay. Kyle says I will take Georgia because of a punter who is from Minneapolis, Iowa, and he's the second string punter. Okay.
Yes, he is.
Okay. Minneapolis used to be a good basketball school. Are they still a good basketball school? Okay.
I kind of doubt it.
Calvin, there is plenty of places in the Quad Cities to watch the game. He knows
I'll
better.
probably go to a restaurant or
B-Dubs. You got B-Dubs there? You got a BW, Black Buffalo Wild Wings?
Oh, yeah.
You can go there and catch the game.
They'll have Peacock?
Yep, they will.
Okay.
They have everything. All right. Yeah. Hackwell says if it's a 10 o'clock game p.m. at Washington, then Washington wins. If it's a normal start for Ohio State wins. I see what he's saying. It seems like the Midwest teams are getting screwed out west that we're having night games and when we're not used to staying up that late because when you add back in the 2 hours.
I'm pretty sure the Washington Ohio State game is not a late night game.
Okay. All righty. I hope so because We got to give the legacy teams some some advantages here. The legacy Big Ten teams. We can't be having
Well,
the West Coast team. We can't be
we
having
have
the West Coast teams to.
we have a great advantage in that when they got to go east, so they have to go east more than we have to go west. So.
Yeah, but see, this is where we do 11 o'clock game when they come east. Okay, all righty, all right. The girls Minneapolis varsity basketball team should be good. The boys varsity basketball team, I don't know how good they are. Yeah, it's Minneapolis girls that are always pretty good. Pretty solid. I remember them going to state every year.
Well,
Okay.
they had Debbie Coates, and as soon as they left 6-on-6 basketball, the old coach, it just wasn't the same for Minneapolis. So.
Yeah. I remember when my high school switched from 6-on-6 to 5-on-5. Okay, but it switched Molly Tiebacks
Senior year,
sophomore year.
sophomore.
Yeah.
Thank God it switched.
Okay, all right, I got TCU at Arizona State. I took TCU in this game.
Mm-hmm. I took Arizona State because I love their coach.
Okay, well that's just
Mm-hmm.
like women picking a team based on colors.
Well, I just know they got a really good coach.
Yeah.
They got a really good quarterback too. If he ain't injured,
where did the coach come from? I know that the Arizona
he's
State coach went to
He's a guy that I would hire at Iowa, but he's an Arizona State alum. He's very young, and he ain't going no place.
Yeah. Okay.
Because he loves his home school.
Yeah. Okay. Our final pick. I pick Indiana over Iowa. Okay. My gut tells me that Indiana will probably win this game, but I'm picking Iowa 42-38. I think we're going to win a shootout. I think that's the only way we win this game is a shootout. Calvin,
Paul?
Go for it.
I'm kind of flattered you called me Paul. Because then I'm better looking,
Well, when I'm rotating through 4 co-hosts all the time, sometimes I forget which one I'm actually talking to.
It's all right, Corey.
Yeah, there you go.
Call you Corey.
Actually, that would be a compliment.
Well, yeah, like I've told you before, Corey, I'm fine with Corey. Some people hate him. I don't hate anybody except TJ Fleck and some villains of the Big Ten. But anyway, I always said I'd never pick against Iowa, but I'm just picking Indiana. And I sent you a score, but I don't remember what it was. Probably like, I'd say 38-27 or something.
I'll see if I can find it.
Yeah.
I know you sent it back.
So, but I want my Hawkeyes to win, and it's possible that they win because
37-25.
Okay. Anything is possible in a game, especially at Kinnick Stadium. And I think I sent you I think I sent you a thing where Scott Docterman said the last 7 times, of course, Indiana is not a top 5 team, but the last 7 times since 2008 that Kirk has played a top 5 team at Kinnick, he has won 5 out of 7. The only 2 he lost was the fingertip last play of the game where Penn State McSorley threw to the guy for a touchdown to end the game. And the only other one they lost was a 10-12 point loss to at home against Michigan, and that was the year Connor Stallions got handed the game ball after the game because Michigan cheated. They knew every Iowa play, and so anyway, so there is hope, that we
here's
can beat
Paul's picks. Illinois, Rutgers, Northwestern. He called the Northwestern UCLA game hot garbage.
It
Ohio
is.
State, LSU, Iowa State, Penn State, Georgia, Arizona State, and Iowa 31-30. Let me read these real quick. Hackwell says Arizona State women's program coach is gorgeous. I haven't looked at her, so I will reserve judgment. Okay. The girls' team of Minneapolis has a coach named Todd Borison. I can't see with these stupid glasses. Borison, who coached at Assumption Comanche, Southeast Polk, North Scott, etc. He is one of the great coaches in the state of Iowa. He's gotten around. He's certainly gotten around. And then Kyle says Indiana football is relevant because of their coach. That's it. Iowa has had their number for years, haven't they? We have. We have beaten Indiana quite a bit, and last time they came into Kenny Rank, we beat them.
Yeah, the last time they beat Iowa at, I think, was 2007. I don't know if Antoine L was there or not, but that's the last time.
He was a thorn in our side.
They asked Kirk today. They said, "Do you know of any coach that has done what Cignetti has done right off the bat, taking over a team that didn't win and turning it around at this high a level?" And Kirk says there is no one that has done that.
But he also pointed out
that he said that you got to understand, when Hayden or Bill Snyder or anybody came to a program, they're just as good a coaches as Cignetti. You know, they didn't have 3 billionaires. And there wasn't a transfer portal. He said, now you can bring in your whole team. It's like Cignetti brought in 13 James Madison players or something.
Yeah, and they're pretty good.
Well, they're pretty good. He said it's like apples and oranges, but Cignetti, this is one of the greatest jobs ever done, Kirk said.
All righty. Okay, so I think this is where we're going to end it. I'm getting restless leg, and I'm not doing too good, so I was counting on Paul to help carry some of the load. So, guys, thank you for watching tonight. This has been a great show. We did better than we did the other night when I kept cutting out all night. We got it through without no hiccups tonight. Thanks for watching, and I will be on my normal schedule this next weekend, so I'll see you Sunday after the Indiana game.
And you get well, Dean.
Thank you.